Hi everyone, just wanted to do a baby update. She is going to be 3 weeks old tomorrow, and I'm still saying she, not saying her name, because I have a baby name contest going on right now on my channel. It's a video I posted before this. There's clues. You can go ahead and guess her name, inbox me your guess, and if you win, I'll send you a prize out in the mail. I wanted to update because baby's been sick, and I want to tell you all what's been going on. So she was born on February 11th. Her first whole week of life, she was fine. The day after I gave birth to her, which was a Sunday morning, I woke up in the hospital. I had no voice. I couldn't talk. I was coughing. I was congested. And I had been healthy my whole entire pregnancy with her. And I'm like, okay, great. The day after I give birth, I'm sick. Because not only was I, recovering from labor and delivery and trying to take care of her, but on top of that, I was sick now too. So I felt like crap trying to, take care of her. So my husband had actually had a stomach bug the whole entire week before I had her. He had taken off like a week of work, like the whole week that Friday I went into labor with her, so he was already home. But he had missed so much work from being sick with the stomach thing, and then he got the respiratory thing, I guess, for me. Then my older daughter got it, and my son got it. So, we all went to the doctor. My husband and my son had an ear infection. My daughter had an upper respiratory, cold, I don't know. And then I had that, and I had fluid in my ear too. I couldn't take any antibiotics because I'm breastfeeding the baby, and they said it would just make too many problems for her, diarrhea and whatever, so I just had to kind of live with it. That was a Sunday that we all went to the doctor. That Monday, baby started getting sick, and I was really hoping that breastfeeding her was going to protect her from what we all had, but I guess it didn't. Or maybe it did, but, so she didn't get as sick. But, so she had a temperature of 99.5, which isn't a fever, but it still made us nervous. We called the doctor. They told us if she got to 100.4 to take her to the hospital, because she was so little. She was 2 weeks old at this point. Or almost 2 weeks old. So that was a Monday night that she started her temperature getting a little high. Tuesday we brought her to the doctor. That was the other thing the doctor said, make sure you bring her in first thing in the morning. So we brought her in the next day, and she was very congested and mucousy, which is a problem for her being so little because she couldn't get it out. We can cough it up and kind of blow our noses and get it out, and she couldn't. So they just had to watch her very carefully, suck out her nose and her mouth with a bulb syringe, stuff like that, and to come back on Thursday or Friday. We went back Thursday. The doctor said she was much worse sounding. She was so, you just hear all, the junk, in her lungs and everything when they would listen to her with the stethoscope. So Thursday, that was that. They gave her a nebulizer treatment of just saline in the office to see if they could hear her better afterwards. And they could, but it still wasn't great. And her oxygen level was 94%, according to their machine, which isn't so accurate because it's kind of big for a little newborn's foot. But they said they would send her home. Anything changes to call her, because a lot of times babies like that get admitted to the hospital because they can't breathe, and it's a big deal because they can't get all the junk out to get their oxygen in. So they told us to look for if she was grabbing at her chest, flaring her nostrils, breathing really fast. So Thursday night, 1 in the morning, my husband said that he thought that she was breathing fast. So we're watching her for a little while. We called the doctor. Doctor said to bring her in. We went to the emergency room. We were in the emergency room for 14 hours. They were just monitoring her temperature, oxygen level, which we got there, and they put this little teeny tiny oxygen monitor thing on her foot, and her oxygen level was 98, 99%. So I don't know if the one at the doctor's office was too accurate anyway, because her oxygen level was perfect. Her temp was 99.5 or 8, somewhere in there, but still not yet a fever. But they wanted to watch her, and they did the bulb syringe. They stuck a tube up her nose and down her to her lungs to try to suck out some of the junk, and they said it wasn't really in her lungs, it was mostly in the back of her throat, post-nasal drip and just everything. She was clogged up with all junk. They gave her a little oxygen after that. But they didn't do too much. And my husband actually got really upset because she was 2 weeks old, brought her to the hospital, and he didn't feel like they did much. And they wanted to admit us, but there was 10 other children in the ER waiting for a bed, like a room, and they didn't have any because they were full. And even when they got one, we still had like 10 people in front of us. So eventually, our doctor came and looked at her and said, if we want to go home, we could. So we did, because basically all we were doing was sitting there looking at her, watching her breathe anyway. So we went home. This was Friday morning now. So Monday morning, actually I had a call to the doctor over the weekend just because I wanted just to double check on her. But they said like everything she was doing was normal. She seemed alright. Monday we brought her back to the doctor. Today's Friday. This was this Monday. And the doctor said she sounded so much better. They thought it was like a viral thing, and they said the 4th or 5th day is usually the worst, and then they tend to get better after that. So she was now on the upswing. So Monday they said she's still congested, still coughing, will be for a while, but her lungs sounded completely clear. So I was like, I could breathe again, because I didn't really too much have to worry now about her getting sent back to the hospital. We are still doing the humidifier, saline drops in her nose and sucking her out with the bulb syringe. Still doing the nebulizer with the saline. They actually let us borrow one from the doctor's office. What else? She's been sleeping in her bouncy seat because she needs to be elevated when she sleeps. And she was doing so good in the bassinet. Like, our older kids, they never slept. They wanted to sleep in our bed, blah, blah, blah. And she was doing so good. So we're like, oh, she's in her bed, in her own bed, she's good, and now she's in the bouncy seat. But hopefully she goes back when she's good again. What else? Her biggest thing now is she's still, like, got the mucus in her. And if she spits up, you can see, like, green, like, spots in her spit up. And every time after I'm still nursing her, and every time after she eats, she has, like, a coughing fit for, like, a couple of minutes. And it makes me so nervous, but it's just, like, you know how you get when you're sick and like mucusy and you drink milk, how it's all like phlegmy and gross, and all she can drink is milk, so that's just kind of par for the course. But she is doing a lot better. And yeah, we have wonderful friends and family that I've been updating everyone on Facebook, and they've been praying for us and that, because we were so nervous last week because she couldn't like breathe right, and it was scary, and she was so little. And even the doctor kept saying if she was a month old, it wouldn't be that big a deal, but she was so tiny. She was only 2 weeks old and had all these problems already. So on top of her first week of life, she was very jaundiced, and they didn't say anything to us in the hospital, but when we got to the doctor, they were like, she's pretty jaundiced, and I didn't know what that really meant too much, but they said like she pees it out, poops it out, and then she got fine. Also in the hospital, when we were leaving, the one doctor thought that she heard a heart murmur when she was listening to her, just because when babies are in you, something happens, and then when they come out, something closes and the murmur goes away, like normally, but she was so little, because we actually even left the hospital early, and so she was only like 2 days old when we were discharged, and she thought that was why she heard it. We went back to the doctor couldn't hear it, we went back a week later, doctor couldn't hear it, so that was fine. The other thing was she had her hearing test done. She passed one of her ears and didn't pass the other. But when she was born, she was so covered in like the white vernix that they think it's just that she got some like clogged in her ear. So March 11th, I think, we have to go like an hour away from here to get her hearing test done again. And it's like, I love my daughter. I'm glad she's here. But I feel like I've been so worried about her. It's been like one thing after another, and like, first they said she was jaundiced and she was fine. Then they said she had a heart murmur, then she was fine. Then her hearing, which will probably be fine. And then she got sick, and now she's getting better. But it's like, I'm exhausted with like worry for her, and she's getting better now, and I'm very, very thankful to God for that. So besides that, she's doing good. She's eating every 3 hours. She's nursing good. The first 2 weeks she was killing my boobs, which I didn't expect because I nursed 2 kids before her, and I thought she would do great, but she wasn't latching good, and she was making me very sore. But now she's doing better at that too, so everything is going uphill. So that's good. She was sleeping a good 4 or 5 hours at night, and then she got sick and wasn't gaining weight great. So we've been having to wake her up, and now she's up every 3 hours to eat. But she's gaining weight, so that's good. I think that's everything for now. Make sure you do the baby name guess, and yeah, I think that's everything. I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.